The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring Gang stay with the best discussions. Ring Gang Radio.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Patscorpio, the New England representative. And as always, I got my man with me. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
What it do? It's your boy, Gold Artist, Shutterworth da Gawd, a.k.a. LB Lauderdale Boss, the Soul Wars creator. Ring Gang.
Ring Gang's in the house. Yes, sir. So, LB, man, after the disappointment of last weekend's, with Canelo and Jacobs, man, the boxing guy.
Yeah. I don't even remember that bullshit.
Yeah, word. I was just like, I think after talking about it, I was just like, I'm over that fight.
It's almost like it didn't even happen. It's like nothing exciting happened. No. A 12-round fight where you only got 4 good rounds of action. Mm-hmm. And it's like the middleweight division was on top last year, and and this year it's like these niggas is on some bullshit. Like they got the welterweights, going harder, and it's like, damn, like the welterweights trying to take their glamour division back.
Yeah, well, it depends. Depends how this summer plays out. If we get some clarity, some expected clarity, then welterweights may actually try to get their position back in terms of the divisions. Especially with 154 now is slowly starting to take claim as probably one of the top 3 divisions in boxing right now.
Yeah, because they actually allow upsets to happen.
Word.
Yeah, welterweight in the other divisions and middleweight, it's like, these niggas like, nah, we don't want to upset the status quo. Yeah, the score to draw.
Yeah, right.
Give it to the guy who cheated.
Pretty much. Whereas 154, barring the fuckery that happened in Munguia Hogan, we could have had a whole overhaul of champions for all the orgs within the last 5 months. So that's
because it's crazy because all of them got outboxed.
Yeah, like all of them. Like the only out of all of these, the only one where I felt like it was a robbery was the Charlo fight. Exactly.
I just felt like these niggas are like, let's just shake up things and just give it to Tony. Like no one will convince me dude won the fight. Like all this pretentious, you didn't see what he was doing because he wasn't doing enough.
Yeah, no, it was all bullshit.
Yeah, don't bullshit me a fight, nigga. Like, fuck out of here. I know what the fuck I saw.
Right?
Niggas keep scoring off of somebody looking bad and not what's fucking happening. You can look bad and still win. God damn.
Yeah, and that was a perfect example of that. But,
Yeah. All I said was bad versus worse. And somehow worse got the decision.
Right? Oh, man. But yeah,
I'm sorry. I was gonna say that kind of takes us to one of the fights last night, right?
Exactly. It takes us, the card between, IBF, WBA, junior middleweight, or light or super welterweight champion, whatever you want to call that division, champion Jarrett Hurd versus Julian J-Rock Williams. But before we get into that fight, just want to do a quick highlight, of the undercard. The undercard was actually pretty decent. It was entertaining for what it was, and usually I'm a stickler for an undercard that's actually pretty decent at best, and this was one. The big thing on the undercard was Matt Korobov versus Emmanuel Aleem, in a fight that I know myself and LB both saw a victory for Korobov. Who pretty much, took advantage of Aleem's tentativeness in the early rounds, wobbled him badly.
7 rounds.
Yeah, wobbled him badly.
Especially the beginning, like you said, like the first 2-3, like especially those.
Oh yeah, especially that. Like, Aleem was just either, couldn't find his range or couldn't find really too much openings. And then, like I said, Korobov really hurt him in the middle rounds, and then all of a sudden he gassed, and then him gassing let Aleem climb back into the fight. But I thought, they thought it was too little, too late. And then, but then at first the judges, I think it was like 97, 93 or something like that. And then 96, 95, and then 95, 95. And that was for Korobov. And I'm like, well, that's like, they gave it to him. Because, we're all shocked.
That guy won.
All right, so we were keeping, but then about 5 minutes later, we get the blurb on the screen talking about the commission fucked up on the scoring. And the 96-95 card was really a 95-95 card. So that made the fight a majority draw. Now, I remember the first thing that I texted LB, I was like, they just fucked Korobov. Like, that shit was, and I know LB was, I know you were, you probably understood how that could have happened in a way. Because, Korobov gassed. That's the problem. And he got
almost fucking dude out. That's the sad part.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too, like, he didn't gas like this. I don't think he gassed at all in the Charlo fight. I mean, he got rocked in the final round, but
he let up on the Charlo. He still gassed. This is the thing. This nigga Korobov got the same problem. Like, he the European Canelo. Like, he got elite boxing skills for the first 6 rounds. But he lets up, like, for all his skills and power, it's like he can't get these guys out of there after he outclasses them. So he lets them hang around, meaning that these niggas are still dangerous. And since he doesn't fucking break their will or really get them out of there, dudes can fucking gain confidence and come back. You see it with Andy Lee. He couldn't get Andy Lee out of there. Fucking Andy Lee threw a counter in the middle of an ass whooping, fucking got knocked out. Fucking Charlo, same shit. Outboxing big Charlo ass off for like the first 6 rounds. Damn, just piecing them up hard, straight lefts over and over. And like, he's not really doing much else. Like, but he couldn't break down Charlo. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't do enough to really just break his will. He gasses a little. He can't keep the lead. Charlo starts coming back into the fight. Activates the Power Stone and starts rocking his ass in them last couple rounds, especially the last one. So it's like, come on, like what's going on here, Korobov? And same shit happened with Aleem. Fucking, he had Aleem out of there, and Aleem ain't on the same level as a Andy Lee and a fucking Charlo. But dude is hungry. He young, shit. He on TV. He want to win too. So. You gotta take these guys out of there. He almost knocked them out, had them done. Nigga gas, and now Aleem is having highlight reel rounds off your ass for like the next 3 rounds, especially the 12th. Like,
no, there wasn't a 12th fight. It was a 10-round fight.
Yeah, 10th. Yeah. That's what I'm sorry. Especially in the 10th, because the 10th, like, goddamn, like, he was just battering this dude all over the round, all over the ring, and it's like, come on, man, like.
Yeah,
he got fucked. Don't get me wrong. Korobov got fucked. Mm-hmm. But as I say, a lot of times these dudes, they kind of do it to themselves. Because if he would have took, he could have took the fight out of their hand.
Yeah, I mean, if you at least get knocked out, because I scored the fight 96-94, and that was just because, like I said, Lee managed to sweep the last rounds. But I thought it was too little, too late for Lee. And then you see, and like I said, two of the judges. I mean, that's why I didn't I didn't trip on the 95 oil, because I could see it though. But it was like, I just thought it was fucked up that Korobov got fucked the way he did, because he was like, yeah, he got himself a majority decision, and he got himself over a prospect. And I'm high on Aleem too. It wasn't like but. Aleem, I hope Aleem just learned the lesson from that fight, but it was just the fact, Aleem got a break, because now he has 2 draws instead of 1, so he doesn't have another loss on his record. But Korobov, time is running out for him. Like, he's 36. He's not, I know he
man, he needed this one.
Yeah, he did. And I know they're both talking about, rematch and stuff like that, but really, like, a rematch, a rematch doesn't really do too much for him. Like, if he wins, he wins. whatever. Aleem, I mean, it will do more for Aleem than it will do for
exactly. And you and I have had this fucking conversation before on this show where y'all fuck up the decision the first time, and y'all only benefit the guy who fucking lost the first time. Y'all giving him a chance to do better. And it's like, come on, we seen this with fucking James, Tony, Sam, Peter. It's the same shit now. It's like, I don't need a rematch for a fight where we know who fucking won the first time. Clearly. Like, I had Corbo winning 7-3.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a Korobov victory, and it sucks for Korobov because now it's just like he's either going to be used as a jobber to the stars right now, unless he can knock some of these cats out. You know, I mean,
he's gonna have to do that. He's too skilled to be getting all these decisions going against him. Especially, you ain't even. I mean, the Charlo, that's more understandable because you know the main event. He the money guy, A side, whatever the fuck y'all want to call this shit now. But
man, no, I mean, that fight I actually thought Korobov beat Charlo. I mean, beat him clear. It wasn't like, you know, but the scores were just so left field. Like, it wasn't even like they were close. Like, you know, close scores. Like they were like, it seemed like Charlo washed them, which was not how it went down.
It was going the opposite direction of the first fight. It's like they tried it with the first fight, so they said, okay, let's make sure niggas don't, you know, get mad at us on the second fight. So fuck it, just give it to Charlo.
Right, and
then overwhelmingly. But that's the thing. It's like, okay, that's Charlo. I mean, you gotta show that you are better than these Aleem, though. You gotta show that you better than Aleem. Like he was letting Aleem move around, even though he was beating him to the punch earlier. Like, I'm like, dude, like, come on, man, like, pick it up. Like I'm supposed to be seeing a skill, you know. I'm supposed to be seeing a talent skill gap here, and it's like I'm seeing more of an effort gap.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it's just unfortunate, like I said, because Korobov doesn't have these type of performances of like he's gonna run to somebody at middleweight that's, you know, that will drown him late again, you know, and it's just like you don't want to see that, but it's just like, you know, you gotta start stopping some of these cats, you know.
Exactly, or getting a knockdown, something like, you know, what I was texting you, I like he the opposite of Colque.
Yeah,
you know. Colque comes on strong in the last final round. He puts hands on you. He hurts everybody in the final round. Can't get it going earlier. And fucking what's his nigga name? Korobov is like the polar opposite. You know, he damn near losing the fight in the last round. He getting his ass kicked the last round. The skills don't go the whole way in the fight, and it's like, man, like, you know, people if we seeing this, then other boxers and trainers are seeing this. So, you know, you gotta make shit count the first fucking time, because now, you know, I'm sure Big Charlo probably got him figured out if he fights him again. Aleem got him figured out if he fights him again. And one fight I could understand a rematch for, but you don't need you shouldn't need two fights to, you know, to take out Aleem.
You're right.
And he was supposed to brutalize Aleem and then talk shit and say, hey, look, I want the winner of Adams and Charlo or whatnot.
Right.
Or fuck, even call out Hurd or the niggas underneath him, like, yo, man, what's good? Like, y'all step up the middleweight when y'all ready. Like, and now it's like that's just done. Like splatless. No momentum.
Yeah, no, it's a shame. It's a shame though. But what can you do? And then and then of course we had the other fight on the card, which was short. You know, it was Mario Barrios, you know, making quick work of Juan Jose Velasco. I mean, he was only notable for a fight was he went about 7 or 8 with Regis Prograis before, you know, and was giving Prograis some issues before putting him out. And Barrios only needed 2 rounds to put him out. Wicked body shot. I mean, it was a delayed body shot. Like, he hit him in the ribs, and so I think it took a right hand to the head. And dude, backed up. All of a sudden, grimace on his face went down. I was like, damn, that was unexpected. But the best body shot knockouts are. They're always unexpected. Yeah. You know, it took
him. He looked like he was in real pain, man. Like the expression on his face, like.
Yeah, and the thing you're talking about with Barnes, like he has like big ass, like he has like the hands the size of like cruisewear, some shit like that. They kept on talking about. So I'm like, so this cat really has hands like that, then I assume that he's gonna be like knocking, you know, eventually he's gonna be knocking out the heavy hitters at 140, you know. Yeah,
cause that guy, I ain't see somebody face in that much pain. It took me back to Pinkerton Thomas versus Tyson.
Yeah.
And remember when Tyson lets off like I think 10 or 12 punch combination at the end?
Yeah.
And he's like, bam. It's like, oh my Jesus. And Thomas just takes all of them. He falls down. He's not knocked out cold. He's still conscious. It's just that he's conscious, but he's in pain. Like you can tell, like all the punches hurt.
Yeah.
It's the worst type of Tyson knockout.
Yeah. I mean,
you're tough enough for Tyson not to knock you out, but you're not tough enough to eat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean that's still one of the more brutal stoppages you'll ever see because Tyson in his prime was a ridiculous combination puncher. You know, he absolutely just, and they're all flush too.
Yeah, body, head, left, right, uppercut, every fucking combination.
Yeah,
and lightning speed.
I mean,
1,000 pounds per pressure.
You know, fucking Angelo Dundee was just like, I mean, something Thomas actually got to a seat before the count, but Angelo Dundee was like, nah, he's done. You know, he's done. It's like Tyson was just way too much.
Oh man, that wasn't even a forgotten fade. That was a forgotten knockout.
Yeah.
Y'all check that out when y'all get a chance.
Exactly.
Y'all catch it. Y'all want to see a brutal ass knockout? YouTube Pickleton Thomas against Mike Tyson. Like, yeah, that's a ridiculous, one of the more painful fucking knockouts you'll see.
Exactly, man. And just like I said, you know, Barrios himself, you know, that knockout of Velasco, it was beautiful. So I mean, we'll see what Barrios. Yeah, he is. I mean, 140 is, you know, it's starting to, you know, like I say, it's starting to come together. You know, I think after the World Boxing Super Series tournament, we're gonna see we're gonna see what's gonna go on with the direction of how it's going. 140 is going to go. Obviously, I mean, because we're gonna get we're gonna get someone who's gonna have 2 belts by the end of it. So, you know, Barrios may just be in the thick of things. So, see how that happens. See how that goes. And now brings us to our main event: Jarrett Hurd versus Julian J. Rock Williams. LB, your thoughts on this?
What a fight! I knew it was a good fight from the jump. J. Rock, I knew had a chance. I knew if he, y'all could go back to the last episode. I said that right hand would be on point, and you would need to back up Hurd consistently, and keep him from coming forward and neutralize that pressure. And you know, but the thing is, I still picked Hurd to win because I felt like Hurd would just still overcome all of that and still get a stoppage in the last round. But I knew Hurd was in for a fight, and boy was he. Because J-Rock did way more than I thought he was capable of.
And I remember on the cast too, I was like, Hurd doesn't know the meaning of slipping punches. Like, he eats punches. This fight absolutely proved me fucking right. I've never seen. I mean, Hurd really ate some punches. Like, this nigga was getting like 5 uppercuts in a row. Like, J-Rock's infighting was masterful. I mean, that's that Philly shit he was doing. Like, he was lighting dude up. Like, you could see that mop head of Hurd going, you know, boing, boing, boing. You know, J-Rock was not wasting no type of punches.
And that's the thing. It's like Hurd. This is the thing with Hurd. Hurd knows defense. He'll slip punches and little single shots because I felt like his defense was decent for the first couple rounds. What happens is he doesn't. It's like he falls behind. It's like he has the same problem that you know regular Swift has. You know, Danny Garcia, where sometimes he gets caught up fighting behind his opponent. And since we all know that, you know, Hurd is eventually going to start getting it going, we kind of, sometimes we overlook it. And it kind of got him this time because he let J-Rock get into a groove immediately. Similar to how Estrada got into a groove with Soren Visai in the second fight, just immediately. Like, he was just on point from the get-go. That's how J-Rock was. And Hurd didn't, it's like Hurd, it didn't pick up to Hurd. Like, it didn't register to Hurd that, like, look, I got to be more offensive. I can't, you know, let him take the lead and be slipping punches and be all cute. Like, this guy, he's on his game right now. And when you sense that in your opponent, whatever game plan you had, you got to adjust that shit. And he fucking, Hurd adjusted, but by the time he did, because I felt Hurd started coming back in the middle rounds. And I had him winning 4 rounds total out of the whole fight. And he won like maybe, it was a stretch where I felt like he won like 2 or 3 rounds in a row. But it's like he won them, but it's like he didn't do nothing to really discourage J-Rock. And J-Rock just kept fucking, he fought through that slump and just fucking took over again.
Yeah, I mean, J-Rock fought hungry. And, you know, J-Rock is Muslim, so and this is Ramadan right now, so, you know, he was super hungry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and, like, dude wanted that title so bad because, you know, I mean, he was like a 7-1 underdog in most places. Like, most people wasn't giving no respect. Like, me and you, we all thought that Hurd would just wear him out, you know, because it was just my misgivings about his
Because I seen how he could win, because I said what he had to do and he did it. It just, I didn't think he would pull it off to that level. Like, you know, because Hurd, there's a reason why Hurd was the favorite. Hurd is a fucking beast.
Right.
And Hurd honestly wasn't really, and the really fucked up thing about it is Hurd really wasn't getting the respect that he deserved. And in turn, we don't give J-Rock the respect he deserved, because in all reality, Hurd is supposed to be pound for pound top 10. Let's just be honest. Like, no other guy who like no other boxers that, you know, have that type of where they consistently was just doing that shit. The Harrison, the Tony Harrison, fucking Trout, Lara, goddamn, like that's bottom level top 10.
Yeah, like, I mean, he definitely did more than, let's just say, like an Errol Spence or something like that, who I don't think is pound for pound top 10.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's like he wasn't getting the respect, so now it's like, you know, we looking at it like, oh wow, like, but you know, J-Rock did it. He beat a pound for pound level fighter, and he didn't need no judges, no judges fuckery. It was clear.
Yeah,
clear win. And
then what really did it, I mean, was the knockdown. Like, one thing that I definitely did not expect to happen was J-Rock knocking down Jarrett Hurd. Did not see that coming. I mean,
early too, and it was like a legit knockdown. Like, I know he hurt him with that shit.
Yeah, he hit him with the right. It was a right hit, and then he got him right on the temple with the left hook. And then Hurd just went down on his ass. I was just like, oh shit. You know, and like I said, J-Rock has never struck me as anyone with that type of punch. But like, he's gotten stoppages before, but he's not like knocking niggas out.
I just think J-Rock got power, but he's one of those guys where his style don't necessarily, you don't see his power like that.
Right.
Like, like he's more like a Joshua Clottey type of puncher.
Yeah, like he'll wear you down.
Dude, he'll wear you down and it'll hurt. And he's accurate. You'll feel those shots, but if he's not being aggressive or stepping into them, you're not gonna really see how big the power play into this shit. With J-Rock last night, this the best he looked, and he was stepping into his punches. He was pushing Hurd back. He was doing all the shit that you're supposed to do when you fight a pressure fighter.
Right. I mean, I guess he probably saw that shit from the Wellborn fight, where he saw Wellborn was bullying Hurd into the ropes, and he did that and was lighting him up. Like, I mean, there was something like even a jab from J-Rock was having Hurd's. You see his leg come up because the shit was hurting him. He was getting rocked. by jabs, and really, and Hurd is a big guy, and you see him like walk through some absolute firepower. I mean, from Harrison, from Laura, who can punch. But you see in like a jab, this is like having him like right hands, like he was wobbling all over the place. But you're right, he did make a stand in the middle. I was like, he's like, nah, I'm not gonna try. I'm not going to like go out there. He did try to make a stand.
What made the fight? Without Hurd getting that second surge, you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't even see J-Rock get to that next level. Some fighters, lesser fighters would have fucking fell apart when Hurd came strong. Because Hurd, you seen Hurd activate the Space Stone. Started just taking all the room from J-Rock, and he was pushing them back literally. But J-Rock fought through them shits. He stood his ground, digged into the body.
Yeah,
you know, it reminded me of Alexander versus Maidana, like doing everything against a pressure fighter, all the right shit.
Yeah, and that's like no one. Yeah, the other thing, like no one really went to his body. I don't think Laura even went to Hurd's body like that. You know, J-Rock, put money in the bank with nobody. That's from the first round. And
because Hurd head is too easy to hit for most niggas. Even though he slipped the punches and shit, it's like this is the thing. Hurd, he'll start out being defensive. If you look at all his first fights, his fights, the first couple of rounds, he'll start out defensive.
Right.
But then somehow everything goes out the window and he's just on your ass.
Yeah.
And a lot of times niggas be like, God damn, this dude is like right here. It's like the headshots are too easy to just fucking not throw. So they fucking just go crazy on the headshot, forgetting that, okay, I gotta slow this dude down. Let me throw some body shots. Because the headshots is too easy. But if you're not if you're not like a Charlo type of puncher where you could clip guys, then you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, and like I said, and Ward. I mean, Hurd got just so worn down by the body shots. Like, I mean, he wasn't even bothering to like really move his head anymore. Like he was just taking right. He was just getting battered around the ring. And also another thing too is I think Hurd's corner was not prepared for this because they were so used to, because I mean, Hurd had been doing this to older fighters, Trout and Laura, doing what he had been doing, and I think he got a little lazy. I mean, Harrison is a different example because Harrison gassed himself, but he gassed off his.
Yeah, but you got to get out the Hurd because Hurd is like Tony Harrison gasses, of course, but Hurd makes niggas gas, so he carry you fast. So he's only gonna make a nigga like Harrison gas even quicker. That's why Harrison was damn pussyfooting around with Charlo and not doing much. Cause it's like you could tell he was trying to just stay to the last fucking rounds and shit.
Yeah, and it was just yeah. So I was just cringing at times at some of the punishment that Hurd was taking. I'm just like, this is no good. Hurd. Like, yeah. I mean, like this corner wasn't telling him nothing. Like he had that cut, and there was one round too where they kept on putting a whole big ass glob of Vaseline, and 2 times it got into his eye, and then you can see him trying to wipe that shit off, and J-Rock is just letting them fades on him.
J-Rock was like, "Fuck all that, bro."
Yeah.
Like, yo, you stay ready, nigga. You don't get ready.
Exactly.
You add them, so it's like, and the refereeing was good for these fights because nobody was going overboard. No one wanted to be a star on these message boards the next day. Everybody was just letting the fights flow. Nobody was over officiating. So I like to see that where niggas just know they lane. And you got a real good fight. One thing I want to mention about Hurd.
Yeah.
I think it's getting time for him to move up. Like I feel like he should move up now. Like I felt like it's like, yeah, I know the body work was there, and he's not used to the body work like that. But man, I felt like that zapped his energy super quick. Like a guy who's not drained or is not struggling to make weight, I don't think the energy would have got zapped that quick. For
like that. I'm thinking
with some body work.
Yeah, I'm thinking that like the whole thing is like Hurd does a lot of things that I think is probably wrong with how he cuts his weight. Because dude is cutting like 10 to 15 pounds within the week of a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and God knows how much he's cutting overall.
I think it caught up to him a little bit. Like I felt like if he wasn't drained when he made his second win, he could have really took over with that charge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like once J-Rock resisted a little bit, it's like he couldn't go any further, and then J-Rock took over.
Yeah, I mean, because truth be told, I mean, Hurd has not looked anywhere he was since the Lara fight. And I'm thinking maybe it's too early for me to think that maybe that fight kind of took some steam out of him a little bit. Not like, you know, like he deteriorated a little bit from that fight. Because that and then Wellborn, I mean, Wellborn obviously was coming back from shoulder surgery too. So it's like Wellborn was putting hands on him, but he stopped him with one shot. So I was like, okay, that's what happened. But I think this one with J-Rock, I mean, I'm just thinking to myself that he didn't look, like you said, he didn't look right. He didn't look like he was
punches, like, you know, I know you don't notice it. He left the
punches too. I don't know if you noticed, he was really slapping his punches at the time. That's what I'm saying,
like he was flailing with them shits. Like it wasn't he would throw like it was almost like you had Danny Jacobs in there. That's what it was reminding me. And I hated that to fucking remember the Jacobs Canelo fight. Jeez. He was looking a little Danny Jacob-ish. And you know how we were saying how Jacobs should have moved up 2 fights ago?
Yeah.
I don't want it to get where Hurd takes too long and he ruins himself. Like, bruh, like.
Yeah, because it'll be one thing if he wasn't getting hit as much as he's been getting hit. You know, it's just like, but like if he goes with the 160, like he's gonna have to clean all that shit up. Like he has to realize that he's gonna be facing niggas that, you know, that's not gonna be fooled by, you know, him walking down niggas. They're gonna light him up. You know? But
that's the thing. He'll be fighting niggas that's his own size. So I actually think, you know, he would be able to put more. I think he would be better energy wise. I feel like his punches that had more life. All of that shit. Like I feel like he wouldn't have to go into the reserves so much in these fights. Like we had to see this guy dig deep 3 times in a row. You know, against progressively harder opponents. From fucking Harrison's a challenge off rip. But to me, Trout's an even harder challenge. Now, Trout's an even harder challenge, but Laura's an even harder challenge.
Right, and like I said, the knockdown was the only reason why he won the fight. You know,
and you're digging deep in each one of these fights, and you're digging deeper and deeper and deeper. It's gonna come a point where it's like you're at your base core, you're at your base strength. Like you can't dig any further. Like you have to make what you have this level work. And he didn't have enough at this level to make it work against J-Rock. And I feel like don't waste time. It's like, bro, you use too big, nigga. Just 160. I would go after Charlo and try to say, look, the other brother, yo, the shit got fucked up. You know, the smaller one couldn't get it on with me. You know, I want to go with I want to go against the big one because, you know, all these fights getting marinated and shit, and you know, niggas is having different plans. Niggas is getting their title shots and they saying, fuck it. And y'all not making these super fights, we gonna be at a super fight.
Right, and then that brings me to my next point too. With you saying like, you know, making the fights. Like I know last year, like the plan for everyone was obviously he was going to get Hurd and Jermell Charlo in for a 3-belt unification, and now these two don't even have their belts because they waited for the shit to marinate. Now, in this particular case, I mean, Hurd had shoulder surgery, so I mean that's a barrier, you know, that happened. But this was a fight that, like I said, I'm pretty sure that would have been a big fight for this year and probably would have happened, but now they're not even champions.
They could have waited this shit out. All they had to do was fucking let Hurd get his damn fight with Wilbon, and get his little, you know, get the ring rust off. They could have scheduled, they ain't even have to have Charlo fight fucking Tony Harrison. They could have just brought these niggas in the fight in January or March this year. And they could have just had the unification. But these niggas be stretching out all these shits. You didn't need a fight with Tony Harrison. And Charlo already proved himself at that weight. Like, He could have just waited. All these niggas is already used to fighting every 18 months and shit.
Right.
So what's the point? He could have waited a fucking little longer. Niggas was already looking at Charlo as the favorite in the fight anyway.
Right.
So it's like, what was the whole point? Like, just make the fucking fights. Like, stop this damn, well, you know, I'm gonna have my fight, then we're gonna have his fight on his date, then we're gonna talk about another fight, but we're gonna have mine. Like, look, nigga, just make the fucking fights, because now look what happened. Y'all, the belts are all scattered across the fucking galaxy and shit.
Right now,
niggas is having rematches, and I know J-Rock don't want to have no. He ain't thinking about unification right now.
Hell no. Oh no, actually, he may, because I mean, I was on Twitter and I was looking at the background between him and Tony Harrison, and they both seem eager to actually unify. That's of course if Tony actually beats Charlo the second time around.
Exactly.
But it's like
stone with these dudes.
But it's like, you know, no one was really expecting a J-Rock versus Tony Harrison fight, which we've never seen. You know, but it was like, oh yeah, Charlo and Hurd fight, because they had, you know, they built themselves up to the point where it was a fight that people wanted to see. So, I mean, I'm positive that fight probably won't get the attention it probably does deserve because of this. And PBC, I hope, learns a lesson, because they have another fight on there that's been marinating for a while and they haven't officially made it yet. You know, I'm talking about LSC and Gary Russell. I mean, there's, like I said,
that fight been available for like 2 or 3 years. Like, right. These niggas either gonna make it or not, and I just don't think they're gonna make it.
Right, and
it's been around.
I mean, especially when both fighters don't even have their zeros. Like, they both have one loss. You know, it's just like, that's a fight that people want to see. You know, they want to see LSC in with someone that they see Gary in with someone like that. And I'm just hoping that this fight, PBC learns that what happened with this fight with Hurd and Charlo now not being a real viable fight that anyone really want to see right now. I
think they learning their lesson and they implementing it in the welterweight division. Think about it. Yeah. Porter looked shaky with you guys. These niggas said, "Fuck it, let me get the Spence unification." Fucking Thurman, same thing with Lopez. Fuck it, let me get the Manny unification. Or I mean, fight or whatever the fuck. But you get my point. Like, they matching up all these niggas right now. Mm-hmm. No more of these spin-offs, and that's what needs to fucking happen. You know, stop recycling these niggas for them to get, you know, fight lesser niggas when we all want to see them against the top guys.
Exactly.
154, y'all was on point with it, but then y'all started fucking around. Y'all started acting like these other niggas, or these other divisions, and then now what? You got one nigga got 2 belts, another nigga got a belt, another nigga who got a belt, but he shouldn't have a belt because another nigga beat his ass. Like,
yeah, that's 154 for you. It's an exciting division. There's a lot of movement. You know, but
at least they allow upsets to happen in that division. So, you know, well, somewhat. I had to remember.
Man, but yeah, no, that fight was definitely. I mean, it was definitely a fight of the candidate. Like, it probably wouldn't be if Hurd was getting his ass beat without putting up much of a fight. But Hurd did put up a fight. Like, I mean, even as he was getting his ass beat
every round, it's just he couldn't win them fucking rounds.
No, he couldn't. He didn't know how to win. I don't think he knew how to win the rounds, because he was like, wait a minute, I'm used to walking through these niggas, you know, and this one isn't walking through. In fact, he's lighting me up. What the fuck am I gonna do? You know, but he tried. God bless him. He tried his hard.
He damn sure tried, man.
I mean, J-Rock's eye was like, you know, was almost swollen shut. So was Hurd's. Hurd was bleeding. Like, it was a rough.
Yeah, honestly, it is the fight of the fucking year. What other fight came close? Besides the I already know that fight on the zone. Yeah, that's the only fight so far that was better than the Hurd fight. Like,
or that's on the same level. I mean, because
at least on the same level. Because definitely. So if you wanted to say this was the fight of the year, you go ahead and say that. I wouldn't argue with you, because Hurd every year he does this shit. Puts the sport on his back and gives niggas everything, win or lose.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I have no problem. Like, if you want to say this fight is the fight of the year so far, hey, yeah, I mean, there's enough drama for that too. I mean, either one or the other. But this fight is definitely like one of the top two of this year so far, for sure. And her, like, again, staking that claim, getting into these wild ass fights, and this time, of course, he came up short. But like I said, hopefully that Hurd learns from this, really goes back to the drawing board. First of all, at least takes at least 6 months off, from this, because like I said, he took a beating. I mean,
he's like, young. I think he could rebound. I don't want to, I don't think he took no Oscar Valdez type of damn ass whooping. Like, I think he should be back, late fall. But it all depends how he gonna come back. Like, he got one or two things. He either say fuck it, go to 160, be stronger, and go that route, or he says fuck it, I want to go for a rematch. Let me see if I can have it at a catch weight with no belts on the line. Just for the fact of let me running it back.
Now, yeah. Speaking of that, because the fight does have a return stipulation. So yeah, I think Hurd mentioned that he was going to invoke it. So
he should, because the fight wasn't. He wasn't out of the fight where he can't come back, he can't make adjustments. He was in the fucking fight. Anybody who's in a fight of the year has a chance to win.
Right.
It just, you know what I mean? It just, you got to change something. To me, he got to be first. He got to snap on those punches. You know what I mean? And he got to fucking do some other shits in there. You know what I mean? Like, he got to look at tape, because you and I see the shit he could have done, but it just some of it is a skill thing, and other things it's more of a was he in the best shape thing.
Right.
And that's what he got to figure out before he moved, because that decides everything. You can run it back at 154 for the titles, run it back, at a catch weight, just to run it back, just to say, look, I'm above this nigga. I just want to run it back just to say I beat him and then move up. Or just fucking say, forget it, I'm going to move up. But, it's in his court. He got to find out what he want to do. But congratulations to J-Rock and Breadman. The niggas did it,
Yeah, they did. I know Brad was, definitely was, and I took a look at this picture on Instagram or whatever. I was just like, and then the emotion in the ring, I was like, yeah, that's what they did that. Yeah. So I mean, it was definitely a great moment for J-Rock. He successfully managed to wipe out people's opinions of him after the Charlo fight, and it's just like he redeemed himself in most people's eyes. And then he also brought up a good point, because we most of us are too quick to dismiss people, fighters, when they get their first loss, because this is unfortunately one of the things that Floyd did during his time was put a lot of emphasis on the zero.
And you weak ass niggas ran with that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm glad J-Rock, called that shit out and just was real about it, because a lot of people are victims of that shit. And a lot of people, they be victims, but they go ahead with it, and they focus on that one loss. And you know how many fucking arguments you see in boxing where niggas be like, but he lost.
Yeah.
Like, and look how we evaluate careers. Like honestly, like, look at Canelo, for instance. Would we look at it the same if he didn't get the benefit of the doubt in like 4 fucking fights?
Probably.
Would we say he improved in each fight if he would have still lost? But everybody always say he improved, but he still be needing help get these decisions.
Right.
So I mean, which one is it? But I don't think we'll see how great Canelo could be because of that.
Right.
Whereas a guy like J-Rock, who had to fucking fight from the bottom, lose and come back all the way and get more developed and reach a higher level than he was originally at, because the first time he fought for the title, it was for 1. This time he fought for 2. So it was twice as nice. You know what I mean? So, and he got the decision. He did more than enough. Like, now sometimes the way fate have it, you could do all of this shit and still lose. I felt like Beltran had the same type of performance J-Rock had, and he had that against Ricky Burns, and he lost.
Yeah, and
Same type of performance, he had a knockdown too.
Yeah, knockdown, broke his jaw. He won at least 9 rounds in that fight too, which is kind of crazy that he lost.
Yeah, they gave it the Korobov special.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
fucking drug. So
the
that's
drug.
Perspective.
Yeah, so yeah, yeah, that was kind of nuts. But yeah, like this fight was definitely it's fight of the year candidate. And if you haven't seen it, I mean, obviously, you know, on the Instagram, I talked about it in terms of how this fight was was just a segment of a bigger picture of what boxing was this weekend in comparison to last weekend and overall feeling of boxing. So if you haven't seen this fight,
What you waiting for?
Yeah, what are you waiting for? Go check it out. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure you can go to a couple of certain places and you can go watch that. You know what I'm saying? So.